Good afternoon. Welcome to OptionsTender. It's Tuesday, May 26th, 2026. Welcome, everybody. We're taking a look at SPX. I know I'm on Cisco right now. I was just looking at that for somebody. We're going to take a look at SPX on the daily and the 65 as well as the VIX. We need to catch up on this because of the all-time high that happened today. Now, could the top be in? Absolutely. I do have just a slight bit higher target that we did not hit yet. So could it, gap up there tomorrow and then fade? Not exactly. It should rhyme to something like this. We basically had our peak that could have been the top, and we're working our way just inching higher. I doubt that we get much more than 0.5% or so higher at this point. But we need to look at our indicators and look for clues because we're at resistance and near resistance, and we have those divergences that we were talking about in the near term that we're looking for. We put those placeholders there. If you're brand new here, you'll see what I'm talking about. And we were looking for this next move higher just to make that divergence happen. And so I think we're really close here. So here's SPX. Here's all the put to call ratio, breadth of the market, all the internals. We're basically neutral at this point. Now, things are not good underneath the hood when it comes to the bigger picture. Slight improvement here in HYG. If you go to HYG, it's hideous. As the market makes new highs, you have these lower highs here. So let's close this up and look at our KISS, keep it simple, stupid, chart that we left. Now, we've had a couple reactions off of this trend line. It is now a valid trend line since we had a reaction this third time. And this fourth time, we're actually getting a little bit of a rejection as well. And I wouldn't doubt that we had a little gap up tomorrow and crap. The market's trying to get above here, and there's clearly resistance at this point. So, all right. Now, with that said, if we go to where we left off in our last public video. Oh, by the way, we're doing this intraday, almost 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want to get these videos intraday, consider becoming a YouTube supporter. It's $3 a month. Helps this channel out, or you could get the more in-depth videos. For example, we did oil and the SPX game plan that I do just about every single day. That's $10 a month, and if you want to save some dollars, you can go to Patreon and pay for the year $90. Okay, so we have some retracements from this correction, and so we have our fib extension retracements, retracement extensions up to the 127.2. That was our first primary target. And we rejected off of there. You see the reaction and did a classic trading pattern. Saw the reaction off of it, got above, held on to, and traded higher to the next resistance. Now, same thing. We got above. Now we're getting below. And the trading patterns, there's a few that you can look at. And so we clearly got above there. We're trading around, and we're back above. So what we're going to look for in the very near term, clearly this didn't reject off of there, right? So what we're going to do in the really near term is we're going to watch for 7,425 to hold on any pullback, all right? And especially holding this low. This low is going to be very important in our cycles, timing cycles. So what we'll look for after we make a top, or if it pulls back first, is a classic trading pattern where we get under it, over, and now it needs to hold. It now needs to confirm and then go higher from there. Do I think that's the most probable situation? Well, I can't deny it. Everything's in a bullish stance, and we'll look at that in a second. But this will be an important level to go higher. And if that's the case, then this is an extension. We have another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 higher. All right. And now the opposite can happen as well. So this is why 7,425 is going to be so important. And maybe we go test the lows and we reject and we go lower. Okay, or you can undercut the lows, which would give us a higher probability that the top is in. And there's your classic trading pattern where you have confirmation and you go lower from that point. All right, so those are kind of the two scenarios that we're going to trade here. We do have long-term swings. I'm not in any more indice calls or anything like that. Let this go ahead and play out. I think we're towards the end, and here's a good look. Here's your positive posture. The 8 EMA is still up, so our momentum's still up, and our trend is still up. The 20 simple moving average. Okay, so no sign of any bearishness at this point from price action. Now from indicators, here you go. Here's our placeholders. So here's we're looking for negative divergence here, and we burn through it. All right, we burn through this peak, and now we officially have that divergence, a lower high right there. That's a lot more appropriate for a possible reversal. Okay, we are oscillating to the upper edge here in the slow stochastic, so we'll be looking for the sell as if we can get a cross back lower. But right now, in the near term, the more sensitive slow stoch is still heading higher, and that could drive us just a little bit higher to some of our targets there. Okay, and we're still on the boundary, upper boundary of the MACD, holding on tight there. And I would consider this a negative divergence now. And that will be confirmed once we get a cross below the the actual bear cross is confirmed with divergence there because we have the red histogram, but we want to see this get back below the boundary here. Clone oscillator. And this is just a huge divergence, you know, weak underneath the hood. We're seeing a little bit of a bounce off of the oversold territory now, but overall, you know, the strength as we make new highs, we're making a lower high. Bollinger Band. We're almost to the top of the band. Let's see if we can get just a little bit higher and hit that band. All right, that will be another sell signal, another sell setup with overbought conditions, negative divergence, and the upper boundary. Money flow demarc. We had the 13 count, I believe, and we're still going a little bit higher from that point, which is not unusual. If the market wants to play around up here and dance around for, you know, the rest of this week and going into next week and just form some sort of, I don't know, weekly doji or something like that, maybe we get a 9 count going into next week. So we'll have to see what happens there. It doesn't have to. Elliott oscillator, here we go. Here's your divergence there. So this is a wave 3 into wave 5. That's how we use it, Elliott oscillator. There's a couple other things we use it for our members as well. So consider checking that out. So let's go to VIX, see if we can get some timing here. All right, so the VIX is trying to hold up. It still hasn't made a new low. It possibly could have. If we're topping, though, I've seen the VIX, you know, definitely go higher as the market goes higher, and that's usually gives us a pretty bad sign that a reversal is coming. But we do have this cycle low, a minor cycle low for the VIX coming up here on 5/31. So that's obviously over the weekend, and so the window would be basically tomorrow through next Wednesday would give us a good window for a top in the market. So let's see what price action does for the VIX going into the low. But right now we're so far holding that 8 EMA from underneath. That's all bearish. The momentum's down. The trend is down so far. But we are at resistance. Let's go to the 65 minute. Let's do SPY. And here's where we left off. Now today, we talked about in the members video some of the targets up higher here. So after you make it past your retracements, then you tack on your extensions. All right, so this is a retracement tool, and so that's why I say our retracement extensions. Okay, I hope that makes sense. This wave count is pretty ugly here, but it's looking like it's about complete. If it hasn't completed, we're holding on to the 8 EMA. Maybe we get one more lift up here to 754.27. Now, we talked about in earlier videos that this 382 was our line in the sand for a bullish move, and that held nicely. So that gives us a wave 4 count there, and then up for looking to complete wave 5. Now, on the slower time frame, if this is a 5-wave move, which I think it is, not complete though, get into the 754, then you're going to have to put on your retracements when this is complete, just to make sure that this isn't an extension. And we went over this last time we had an extension. Okay, so let's say we make it up to that 754 zone, then you put on your retracements. Let's say we pull back to those moving averages on the higher time frame too that we just looked at, and maybe 740, which that was the 74.25 on SPX. So this zone, let's say that holds, and then we make a new high. That's going to be a wave 3, 4, and 5. Now, it doesn't have to be pretty and extensive, but it could, it could continue to lose momentum, 3, 4, 5, and add another extension on here to go higher. And then you have prices that are just a little bit higher at 760. And there's other Fibonacci's up there that we go through again in member videos that give us a higher targets there. Now this starts to break down, and we break down from this low, then we have to reconsider things and start looking more bearish. Even though I do have bearish positions, I think this is going to end soon. Well, price action has to confirm that. So what do I mean by extension? The extension happened here. We had this nice impulse wave, and we had a wave 4 here, a flat pattern. And this could have been the top. That could have finished everything. Instead, since it held its retracement, the 50%, and made a new high, this became a 1 rather than a 5 completed. It became a 1, 2, and then you had wave 3, 4, 5 and extended. All right, so that's the same thing we're going to look for here. Will this top it out, or will the retracements hold and we start going higher? All right. So here's we're not even overbought yet. So this very well could go up to our 754 target, where we will short the market. And in the near term. So our position trades, our swing trades are on, but in the near term, we'll trade into these retracements. Okay. And then you take profit and see what the market does, and then we'll go from there. But we had these positive divergences right at the lows, and that's what gave us our new high there. And so we'll look for in this very, very near term. Now we do have negative divergence from this peak to this peak, but again, this area we want to see if there's going to be some divergences or whatnot. All right, that gives us a lot more confirmation that we'll get our reversal. Now we're not up at the upper boundary. We don't really have anything now. We're correcting right now, so this should cycle all the way through, or it's in an uptrend. All right, the slow stochastic. But we haven't hit the upper boundaries. We don't necessarily have to, because these divergences are starting to build up. But we could go a little bit higher there, all right, into this kind of downtrend. Okay, so we'll look on the 60 area. We'll look to see if we can get to that 70 zone in further videos. So we do these videos often, so make sure you hit that notification bell. Bollinger Band, we did reverse off of it. That was a sell signal. You could have had a little bit of a scalp there. We'll see if we can hit that upper band again going into our target. All right. DMARC. DMARC, there's no count yet. Maybe we start to get a 9 count coming up here. Elliott Oscillator. In this near term, nothing on this indicator yet. But again, just like we did on the daily time frame, now on the 65, I'll put this placeholder here. We'll see if we can get a wave 3 into a wave 5. Okay. All right. So let's see what the VIX could do in this near term. And we're at resistance right now. It could go a little bit higher. You see there's a little bit of room. But we're at resistance right now. And we're filling out this wedge. I have 2 wedges here. I have this wedge right there. And the steeper one from the peak right here. Now the reason why I put one here is anticipating that we would make a new low. We have not. We missed it by 2 pennies. All right, and we're at resistance. So coming up tomorrow and perhaps the next day, or finishing this week. This is usually when you have holiday weeks, they're typically bullish. It doesn't have to be. It's very rare, but they can be bearish. But it's a higher probability, and that's what we trade on is probabilities that the market will continue to kind of grind and maybe do nothing for the rest of this week, up and down. We'll have to see, but this very well could make a new low coming up here in this week, or even following into next week. Now, if we start to break out, all right, you see this little bear flag that we had here? This one right here, the bear flag broke down. Maybe we backtest that. Maybe we actually do start to break out from this downtrend. All right, it's not even valid until we get this new low here. But then maybe we reject off of this one, this wedge, and then backtest. All right, lots of things, lots of scenarios that could happen. But ultimately, we're looking for this VIX cycle low. It's around June 1st or May 31st, whatever you want to say. It's where the ideal low is. And ultimately, we're going to look for these wedges to break out somewhere in this window right here because of that VIX cycle low. So I think there's still room for this to go make just a little bit lower low. It doesn't have to come back down to the wedge, but it's there if it needs to. All right. And then we'll look for hopefully a breakout at that point. And then we can add on to our trades up here, or down here, I should say. Okay. That's it, you guys. Thanks for joining us here at OptionsTender. I hope you're having a wonderful summer so far. I have, and I'm loving it. So we'll talk to you hopefully tomorrow if there's something else that develops.